A few months ago, Chris Bumstead, Mr. O himself, was asked this question: if you had to pick 10 exercises to do for the rest of your life to stay as muscular as possible, which would you do? I watched the video, his answers were pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but then I asked myself the same question. Keep in mind, I come from a calisthenics background, so I enjoy hybrid training, so my answers were definitely not the same. So today I'd figure I'd share those 10 exercises with you, but here's the thing, we're gonna split those exercises into 5 weightlifting or machines, and then into 5 bodyweight exercises. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off, number 1 on our weighted list is the dumbbell incline press. The dumbbell incline press is one of the first weightlifting movements I started doing after I was doing calisthenics, more specifically because I realized I was lacking upper chest. So with calisthenics, doing our dips, our planche push-ups, a lot of it's very lower chest focus, and me myself, I have a big lower chest. So the dumbbell incline press was the next best thing for me to do, and I've literally have been doing it every week, multiple weeks since then. And when it comes to upper chest development overall, I do prefer the dumbbells over the barbell. And I actually believe that Chris Bumstead did have this one on his list too. When it comes to just overall chest development, you're always gonna look the best if you have more upper chest than lower chest, and the incline press is without a doubt, even before push-ups, even before barbell bench press or any other flat variation, should come first. Number 2 is gonna be a squat variation. You guys already know, we don't skip leg day over here, so of course, if I had to pick 10 exercises, one of them has to be some sort of squat variation. Now for me specifically, I'm not gonna necessarily say a barbell back squat, which Chris Bumstead did say. I'm gonna say a quad focus squat, any quad focus squat. So this can be like a hat squat. You can do like a Smith machine or elevate your heels just a little bit. There's so many quad focus variations of the squat. I would just pick one of them. I'll probably just pick the hat squat, to be honest, over the barbell back squat, just because though the barbell back squat is an overall great exercise, probably the greatest exercise of all time, when it comes to just overall leg development, I tend to get better results with other squat variations. Number 3 is going to be the straight leg RDL. So we can't forget about the posterior chain. We can't forget about our hamstrings, right? Now, relative to the traditional deadlift or even the normal Romanian deadlift, I find that straight leg RDLs tend to just work that hamstring a little bit more. You get a better stretch, and then you get the added benefit of actually training your hamstring flexibility. That's honestly why I do that exercise the most, is because I know that this is almost like a loaded stretch when you do it the right way. So if you do want a little bit more hamstring activation, then I would go with the straight leg variation over any sort of other variation. And I've been doing RDLs for a very long time too. Without a doubt, it should be in everybody's routine. All right, we are number 4 on our weighted list out of 10. And the next one is gonna be a pronated grip machine row. Pronated meaning that my palms are facing towards me, and then also it's horizontal. So I'm not like in a neutral grip, because a neutral grip is gonna work more of your lat. It's gonna be more lat bias. And I already got pretty good lats doing my pull-ups, all that stuff. So I'd rather do something that works more the trapezius muscles in the upper back. And I find that doing a pronated non-neutral grip sort of machine row that's also chest supported tends to work the best. I've actually included this in my routine that I'm doing right now. I still do bodyweight rows and all that stuff too, but without a doubt, I'm always doing some chest supported row with that hand positioning just so I can get my upper back hit. And I find that when it comes to just thickness of the upper back, that exercise kind of works best for me. So that's why I would include it in this list. Number 5, and this is the last of our weighted exercises, and I'll have to say the cable lateral raise, but a unilateral version. And I've been sleeping on this exercise for so long, guys. And me myself, when it comes to my overall development, I can definitely cap out my shoulders a little bit more. I naturally tend to have more like smoother and smaller deltoids, especially on the side. So back in the day, whenever I started doing incline presses, I immediately also started doing some more dumbbell lateral raises. And I really slept on the machine. I didn't start actually doing the machine consistently up until 3 months ago. Now I do that more so than a dumbbell lateral raise. I actually barely do a dumbbell lateral raise at all, just because the overall amount of range of motion you get without hitting your traps, like you can really focus on the medial delt. I can progressively overload a lot easier. And overall, I just think it's a superior exercise when it comes to the aesthetics of the shoulder. So without a doubt, I would have to include it in this list, because otherwise I would look super goofy with my big old traps and smooth shoulders, man. So I would have to. Up next, we are into the bodyweight list. I got 5 more exercises, guys. We're halfway there. Number 6, without a doubt, without question, has to be the pseudo planche push-up. This is hands down, I believe, the greatest push-up variation of all time. Pseudo planche push-up. The top reason from a strength perspective is that it has the highest carryover into any other exercise you want to learn when it comes to pushing variations with bodyweight training. If you want to learn how to do a one-arm push-up, bro, do pseudo planche push-ups. You don't even have to do one-arm push-up progressions or variations. If you want to learn how to do an actual planche push-up, do the pseudo planche push-up. If you want to build your lower chest, do the pseudo planche push-up. If you want to get a stronger dip, do the pseudo planche push-up. Like overall, this is hands down the best exercise of all time. Also, you can manipulate the leverage. So unlike any other variation of the planche that you're doing, or a planche push-up, where you're kind of stuck in that leverage spot, with the pseudo planche push-up, your lean creates the leverage. So you can lean as far or as back as you want to. Anytime I do this exercise, I try to aim for low reps, so 3 to 6. So I'm creating like a very, very exaggerated lean, and my feet are damn near already coming up doing the movement. And to this day, I do this exercise multiple times a week. Hands down, my favorite pushing when it comes to bodyweight exercises. So I would have to include it in this list. Number 7, you already know, guys, you gotta pull up or shut up. Without a doubt, pull up alongside with the pseudo planche push up are my 2 favorite bodyweight exercises of all time. Now, of course, I would wanna add weight to myself, but I'm not sure if that will count as weightlifting, because adding weight to yourself in a squat was considered weightlifting, so there's a sort of a blurred line there. But even if I couldn't add weight to myself, I would still do pull-up variations. I would probably do some sort of unilateral pull-up variation, keep in mind, or even explosive pull-ups and or muscle-ups. Point is, I will always be doing some sort of pull-up variation, because I feel that when it comes to back development, everything is just overall superior, in my opinion, compared to any traditional lat pull down or unilateral sort of, you know, super optimal lat bias row. Like, I would still rather do pull-ups hands down. Next one's gonna be the handstand push-up. So if you notice, I didn't add any dumbbell pressing or military press in the weighted list. That's because if I had to pick a shoulder movement to just overall work my shoulder, I would much rather that be in the relative strength area with the handstand push-up versus a military press or a dumbbell press or anything like that. That's because your shoulders are already getting so much work through the incline pressing, through all the pseudo planche push-ups, all these other variations we're talking about, right? So why would I go and do like a dumbbell shoulder press? I'd much rather indirectly train my static handstand while doing this. Like, it's almost like a side benefit, while still getting development in my shoulders, while still making the handstand push-up difficult. Like, you know, even if the handstand push-up is too easy, I'm adding some sort of depth. Maybe I'm going all the way to my waist and push myself all the way back up. And even to this day, I still prefer handstand push-ups over the weighted movement when it comes to shoulders. Number 9, for me, I had to include an ab exercise, and that would have to be hanging leg raises. I believe CBUM also had the hanging leg raise on there too. When it comes to just overall ab development, I feel this exercise, a close second is the decline sit-up, but I would still much rather choose the leg raise. That's because, once again, all the extra benefits you get outside of just training your abs, right? Grip strength, you're doing passive hanging, your hip flexors, your lower abs, all that stuff is really good for just your body in general. That's why to this day, I still do this movement very, very often. Actually, all these exercises that I'm mentioning, I do within my routine on a weekly basis. So it makes perfect sense. And number 10, guys, number 10, the last one, would have to be sprints. Would have to be sprints. Like, think about it. If I only had 10 exercises, I would definitely do some cardio with my body. And sprints, hands down, would be my top exercise to pick out of that. Now, it wouldn't be 100% all out sprint. The last time I did that was in 2019. I didn't pull a muscle, but I really injured my hamstring really bad. Me and my friend both injured our hamstrings. And since then, I've been terrified to sprint at 100% speed, and I'm only 27 years old. So I would do like a 70 to 80% sprint, and I would do it in intervals. It would suck, but it would be great for my heart health. It would be great for my legs too. Have you seen sprinters' legs? They look absolutely insane. I'm not sure they do any secondary work outside of just sprinting, but you know, with the fast twitch muscle fibers, and just overall that development and force you're getting from sprinting, it just overall works as a great leg exercise, and then also the cardiovascular aspect of it too. We cannot forget, because what's the point of having muscle if you can't walking up a flight of stairs. I don't think it's worth it to me. Now you guys notice there wasn't one exercise on this list, that is dips, right? I've spoken why I stopped doing dips. I'm actually gonna do a full video on why I stopped doing dips, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that one. But in the meantime, don't forget to watch this video right here, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.